What should be done about these public health, especially faith-based institutions that can now not breathe because SHA owes them money, there's more money from NHIF that they have not been paid, and now Kenyans are suffering down there.
Sure, I alluded to that a few minutes ago, and I want to affirm, that is why I said we started very well with SHA, where the claims by the public facilities, which are more than the private and faith-based, were definitely taking a bigger share. But as we proceeded, things are changing. We are seeing public facilities receiving less than the private and the faith-based. It could be an issue of efficiency in claiming that is found probably by the public sector, but also it could be because of aggression by the private sector, which I do not want to say is induced. That is why I said, as public, we offer services to ensure that we have good health coverage for our people. We are not profit-making organization, and therefore we are not driven by incentives for us to have aggressive claims of the same. We have no reason to go queue at the ministry or make phone calls for the claim to be paid. We ask the ministry to pay the claims on first-come, first-served basis, instead of those who make a lot of noise or who claim more than the others. And I agree. When you look at the claims at the end of the month for the reimbursement of SHA, sometimes what the counties are being paid is just a fraction of what they have claimed. Is it the resources that are not enough? Or is it that there are others who are being paid who are more aggressive than the county and public facilities? That is a question that the ministry need to answer, but we will continue doing what is right. Thank you very much. Please. Asanteni.
Mimi sikujua vile ulienda. Hapa. Eh? Ya Mungu.
Habari zenu? Good morning to those who don't understand Kiswahili. Come on. Are we sure that noise? It's okay. Eh? Yeah. So thank you very much. Of course, I may not need to introduce myself, but if you need me to do, I will after. But allow me to say that I'm here on the behalf of Council of Governors, not on behalf of myself, and in particular the Health Committee of the Council of Governors, and we need to clarify some things. I'll start. This is a press statement on the behalf of Council of Governors. It is on the statement on absorption of the Universal Health Coverage staff, popularly known as UHC. So members of the press and citizens of Kenya, the Council of Governors makes reference to the press statements issued by the Ministry of Health on 25th August 2025 regarding the absorption of UHC staff. That was yesterday, the statement that was issued by the Cabinet Secretary. While acknowledging the ongoing collaboration between the two levels of government in addressing the management of UHC staff, the Council of Governors wishes to clarify that it does not concur with the Ministry of Health position expressed in the press statement yesterday. The press contradicts the previously agreed position between the national government and the Council of Governors who represent the county governments. The Council, therefore, sets out its position as follows. 1. On the transfer of universal health coverage staff, it was agreed that the Ministry of Health would allocate adequate resources as per the approved SRC salaries scale before the transfer of the payroll to the county governments. Since the contracts are still valid, the decision to transfer the staff at this time is premature and untimely. Number two, on verification of the UHC staff, the report on the verification exercise of the UHC staff has not been validated and officially shared, and therefore the process of transfer that the ministry is proposing is not agreed upon. Thirdly, on payment of gratuity for UHC staff, the UHC staff currently are engaged on contractual terms and are entitled to gratuity. The Ministry of Health should therefore settle all the gratuity payments for UHC staff before the transition to county governments. The council reiterates its earlier commitment to absorb the verified UHC staff and facilitate their salaries in line with the approved SRC salary scales once the allocation of the resources have been disbursed to the counties, as well as the gratuity obligations have been honored. Ladies and gentlemen, the Council of Governors recommends that the national government, through the Ministry of Health, allocates and channels the attendant resources to county governments through DORA to facilitate the absorption of UHC staff as per the county HR policy, failure to which the absorption of UHC staff will be unattainable. The Constitution provides that both the levels of government should relate on the basis of consultation as opposed to directive. The Council of Governors reaffirms its commitment to working collaboratively with the Ministry of Health to resolve all the matters related to UHC staff and the management of the same in the spirit of partnership and in the best interest of strengthening health services delivery across all the counties. Asanteni sana. That definitely I will, for your record, I'll give a few copies. I think I have about 3. The others can be photocopied. Asanteni sana.
So how much do you need to absorb this tax?
We need 7.6 billion in the DORA for absorption to permanent and pensionable for almost 8,500 staff. And that is supposed to be in perpetuity. It cannot be a one-off. It has to be included in the DORA, because once we absorb this stuff, we will not be getting rid of them the following financial year. So it cannot be just one-off this year and then it's not there the next year. That is why we are saying it should be included in the DORA, so that after that it will always be included, because the DORA is not supposed to reduce. Ring-fenced for UHC staff.
When you say the 8,500 staff, so are we working still with that figure, or do you have now a certain figure?
And that is why I said by saying in the beginning that there is the report on the verification that we've just done in collaboration with the ministry. The results are not out, and therefore the figures I'm giving is what was initially in the originally employed UHC staff, and therefore they vary. Plus, so it cannot be minus. It cannot be plus. It can only be minus because of atrocities. So it is roughly that figure, but definitely to reduce because some have already found other greener pastures. Yes.
The question is now, what is the fate of these people? Because we have a statement.
They are not being denied. They are not being denied. The UHC staff are still working. They are on duty in various facilities, both in the county and the national government facilities, and their contract is ending next year in May, and therefore up to May next year they have a valid contract. They have stations to work, and they have work to do. It is only that they have been clamoring for permanent absorption, which definitely they want halfway between the end of the contract and definitely the renewal. But we are saying we need to be ready for them before May next year. We cannot wait for May next year and then you start running around as if we did not have time. We have the time, but we have to do it right. It is not possible for us to absorb this UHE staff in September in permanent pensionable basis for the two reasons I've given. One, they already have a valid contract. So you cannot end the contract halfway. That is not procedural. Secondly, we need resources to be able to absorb them to permanent and pensionable terms. And that can only be allocated through the normal DORA, which is the yearly allocation to the counties, which has to be in perpetuity. That's what I've already clarified.
Then also maybe another question would be when the Ministry of Health between the two levels of government.
As far as I'm concerned, the position of the Council of Governors is that the ministry did not consult us. And that is why I've said in the statement we are supposed to be collaborative, not directive. And we are not taking this as a directive by the ministry to absorb the staff. We are just hoping that they were fishing or they were testing waters. It is very clear. We have this deliberation not once, not twice. It is even in our resolutions for the highest sitting organ between the Council of Governors and the national government, which is the summit. It is part of summit resolution of about 2 years ago. They just need to honor it, and we are good to go in terms of what UHE staff can do. I need to be very clear that we are in a position whereby we cannot do without UHE staff. They are part and parcel of the health systems of Kenya. You cannot just withdraw about 8,500 staff from our health channels at the moment and claim to have a working system of universal health coverage. It's not possible. We need them. The problem is how do we handle them? How do we make sure they are satisfied just like their colleagues? And we permanently resolve this issue of perennial strikes, and we keep them in the wards and the hospitals where they need to be. As a Council of Governors, we are committed to being ethical because we believe in SHA. We believe in resolving the issue of the universal health coverage by having accessibility by all Kenyans to healthcare through an insurance scheme that is public. We are coming from a background of NHIF, which was dogged with a lot of fraud. We have been working in collaboration with the national government, definitely. But the coordination of that organ of SHA sits squarely with the ministry. We are consumers, we are implementers. And as far as I'm concerned, we have told our people that we will not be entertaining any of our facilities being involved in fraud. So if there are any that have been involved, of course they are not exceptional. The ministry should take care of, should take the necessary action through the KMPDC, which is a regulatory body, to ensure that we do not slip back to what used to be in NHIF. There's a trend, of course, we have noticed. I have always said that 90% of the facilities that offer services to Kenyans is public. And therefore, in the claim for reimbursement, in treatment, we are not expecting that 90% of patients go to public facilities. But when it comes to reimbursement, 90% of the money is in private sector. We initially started very well. We were initially doing 70-30%, but we have seen a trend whereby now we could be almost 50-50, or the private sector could be claiming more than the public sector. We may not be as aggressive as public sector in claiming, but we are aggressive in treating as far as the public hospitals or facilities are concerned. So it's an issue of concern to us. It's been raised by the Council of Governors, and we have told the ministry to look keenly into those records and ensure that we don't slip back to where our patients used to be taken advantage of by being retained in facilities for the purpose of claim for reimbursement of treatment cost by the insurance companies, including SHA.
Yesterday the CS Duale said that how much revenue this is county will lose with this rejection of 10.6 billion in the inspection of facilities, just to ensure they provide the required services and also the money the SHA is.
But I've just answered that, madam, and I do not want to go into what the minister said, because the minister is in charge of ensuring that they enforce standards. That is why we have the public health being in charge of enforcement standards, quality and standards. We are consumers, we are implementers. There's no way I can be speaking about that when we are supposed to be under the scrutiny of ministry. Let the minister say exactly which counties have been involved in fraud. Of course, we are not saying they are not there, not the counties. They are just facilities. And I am trying to think, I would not think of any reason why a public facility would be involved in a claim that is fraudulent, because we are not profit-making organizations as far as public facilities are concerned. We just offer services, and we are reimbursed for exactly what we offer as services. It is not a revenue stream for the counties in as far as the public facilities are concerned. Please.
When a governor,
It's come to my knowledge right now, so I'm not aware.
yes.
And therefore allow me not to comment on it, because I do not want to be on a fishing expedition where we are just answering each other for the sake. If you give me time, I'll give you an answer to that. Especially when I'm speaking on the Council of Governors, I don't be out of topic.
Yeah.
Kindly, please.
Yes.
With a lot of respect. Yes.
And just related to that,